8 months ago, my wife told me the words I never thought I'd hear. If you keep following that stupid budget rule, I'm sleeping in the guest room until you come to your senses. She was talking about the famous 50/30/20 budget rule I had been following religiously for 6 months. What happened next almost ended our 7-year marriage. That night I slept alone for the first time in years, wondering how a supposedly safe financial tip had triggered the worst crisis in our relationship. If you are using the 50/30/20 rule right now, or if your partner is pushing for a stricter budget, stay until the end. I'll show you exactly why this system nearly destroyed my marriage, and how the method I developed afterwards helped us save $47,000 in just 8 months, without a single fight. To understand the magnitude of what happened, you need to know our context. My wife Sarah and I have been married for 7 years. I earn $78,000 a year as a software engineer. She earns $52,000 as a registered nurse. We've always been good at managing money, but we never had a formal budgeting system. Until this January, when I decided it was time to be more financially disciplined. I had seen the 50/30/20 rule literally everywhere. 50% for needs, 30% for wants, 20% for savings. It seemed perfect, simple, proven by millions. Elizabeth Warren recommended it. All the financial influencers promoted it. I thought, this is going to be easy. We're finally going to get our finances in order. What I didn't know was that the seemingly harmless system was going to trigger the worst financial and emotional crisis in our marriage. And here's exactly how it happened. I started applying the 50/30/20 to our combined income of $130,000. After taxes, we had about $98,000. Following the rule strictly, $49,000 for needs, $29,400 for wants, $19,600 for savings. The first 2 months went great. We had our categories clearly defined, followed the budget religiously, and I felt like a financial genius. Even Sarah was impressed with my discipline. But here's where things started to fall apart. The wants category became a constant source of conflict. Sarah wanted to renovate our 10-year-old kitchen. I wanted a new gaming setup for my remote work. We both justified our expenses as allowed wants within that 30%. But here is the math problem. $29,400 a year is only $2,450 per month for the people. And when you start splitting that, every purchase becomes a negotiation. Why is your yoga class more important than my software subscription? Why are your new shoes more important than my workout gear? The budget that was supposed to unite us financially was tearing us apart emotionally. Every purchase had become a battle. The moment that nearly ruined our marriage came in month 4. On a Tuesday night I'll never forget. It was an incredible investment in her career. That certificate could potentially earn her an $8,000 to $12,000 raise. But according to my rigid interpretation of the 50/30/20, that was professional education technically should come out of the needs category, not wants. I told her, Sarah, this doesn't fit our wants budget. We'd have to reorganize the whole system. Her face completely changed. She looked at me like I was a stranger. And then she exploded. You and your stupid budget are killing my dreams. Before this madness, we made decisions together like adults. Now, everything has to go through your ridiculous categories. I feel like I'm asking for permission to live my own life. She was right. Completely right. In my obsession with following a perfect system, I had lost sight of the most important thing. We were a team, not opponents competing for a limited budget. That night, after Sarah went to the guest room, I stayed up until 3 a.m. running numbers. And I discovered something that blew my mind. By following the 50/30/20 religiously, we had saved $9,800 in 6 months. But after factoring in 3.2% annual inflation, those savings had lost $156 in purchasing power. Meanwhile, we had turned down investment opportunities that could have yielded 8 to 12% annually. Sarah's course that I had blocked would be given her to 150% ROI in the first year. The 50/30/20 rule wasn't making us rich. It was making us organized poor people. And worse, it was pulling us apart emotionally. The next morning, Sarah and I had the most honest conversation of our marriage. I showed her my calculations, admitted I'd been completely wrong, and together we developed what we now call the Joint Growth System, or JGS. Instead of dividing money into rigid categories, we split it into growth goals: 60% for optimized essentials, 25% for personal and professional growth investments, and 15% for aggressive financial investments. The key difference: every decision is evaluated based on growth potential, not category. Sarah's course was a professional growth investment. My gaming setup was an income growth investment. The kitchen renovation was a home equity growth investment. We implemented 3 simple rules. Any expense that can generate more money than it costs is automatically approved. Any expense that significantly improves our quality of life is discussed as a team, never rejected based on a category. We review and adjust the system monthly based on results, not external rules. The results were immediate and dramatic. In the first month, Sarah took her course and I invested in my setup. In the second month, she got a $10,000 raise and I closed my first $3,500 freelance project. Instead of saving $1,633 per month while losing value, we were generating an extra $1,125 monthly and reinvesting it immediately. 8 months later, here are the real numbers. Net worth increased from $23,000 to $70,000. Combined monthly income rose from $10,833 to $13,958. Most importantly, 0 money fights in the last 6 months. But the most valuable lesson wasn't financial, it was relational. The 50 30/20 rule assumes money is a limited resource that must be divided. Our JGS assumes money is a growth tool that must be multiplied. When you shift from a division mindset to a multiplication mindset, everything changes. Instead of asking, what category does this belong in? You ask, how can this help us grow? Instead of limiting expenses, you optimize investments. Sarah now earns $62,000 a year instead of $52,000. I now earn $95,000 between my job and freelancing instead of $78,000. But more importantly, we make financial decisions as partners, not rival accountants. The 50/30/20 almost ruined our marriage because it treated the symptoms disorganized spending instead of the root cause scarcity mindset. Our system addresses the root cause, how to make every dollar work to create more dollars. If you rate using the 50/30/20 right now and feel like you rate constantly fighting with your partner about money, or feel like you rate saving but not really making progress, I want you to do this. Pause the video right now and calculate how much you've saved over the last 6 months. Now calculate how much purchasing power you've lost to inflation. Finally, think of 3 opportunities you rejected because they didn't fit the budget and estimate how much money they could be made you. I guarantee you'll have the same realization I had that night. The 50/30/20 rule isn't a wealth plan, that's a financial survival plan disguised as wisdom. If this video opened your eyes like it did mine, hit that like button right now. And if you want me to make a full video showing exactly how to implement the system that Sarah and I now use, the same one that helped us save $47,000 in 8 months without a single fight, drop a comment below saying system. Here's the truth nobody wants to tell you. Rich people don't use budgets. They use cash flow systems that multiply their money while they sleep. And that's exactly what I'm going to teach you in the next video. But before you go, here's something crucial. This isn't just another personal finance channel. This is Rich Habits Club, where we challenge everything you've been taught about money, where you learn the real strategies that truly wealthy use, not the breadcrumbs financial gurus. Hand down, if you're ready to stop being a slave to your budget and start building real wealth, subscribe now to Rich Habits Club and turn on notifications, because the next video is going to completely transform how you think about money. And remember, you only have to get it right once. One decision, one investment, one system that works. That's all it takes to change your financial life forever. See you in the next video, where I'll show you exactly how to build your own wealth system. No budgets required. Until then, stop saving and start investing in your future.